Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. And today I want to talk about how narcissists learn to manipulate. All right. A lot of narcissists have the same manipulation tactics. They love gaslighting. They love to confuse you. They love to lie. They love to give you a word salad. They love to triangulate. There's a lot of different tricks that they use to manipulate. But how does the narcissist learn these things? Like people say, do they get it out of the same, narcissist playbook? Well, in a sense, they do, okay? Most narcissists manipulate, the same way. Some can be a little different here or there. But how does this narcissist learn all these things? Well, a lot of times the narcissist learns it from who they're surrounded by. It could be their toxic narcissistic parents. It could be their toxic narcissistic friends or environment that they grew up in. So, it's a learned behavior, how they manipulate and how they survive. So when you're dealing with a narcissist, the first thing you want to do is look at their flying monkeys. Who is this narcissist surrounded by? Who are their allies? Who are their supporters? Who do they confide in? Because 9 times out of 10, a narcissist confides in people that they're very similar to, that they may learn the same types of tricks from. This is why we talk about generational curse. In other words, if grandparents were narcissistic, sometimes it gets passed down to parents and then grandchildren. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody that comes from a narcissistic household turns into a narcissist, because they don't. Some people are truth tellers. Some people can acknowledge when their family is wrong. And these people are usually the people that get scapegoated, because they're the ones that are going to call out the toxic family for, their lies or, anything that they put out there that's not truth. But the thing is, a large part of how narcissists learn what they learn is by the people that they're surrounded by, their environment. Maybe they grew up in a household, they were a child, and their parents always gave them the silent treatment to punish them, because the silent treatment is a form of emotional abuse. So if their families did this, you may see that the narcissist you're dealing with may do the same tactic on you, or they may do it on their children, because it's a learned behavior, all right? This is what they saw. This is what they thought was okay. Now, some people say, you know what? I don't want to be like my parents, or I don't want to be like the people that I'm surrounded by. There's something wrong here. And these are the people that walk in the truth, okay? These are the people that believe in righteousness. These are the people that, in my opinion, are guided by the Holy Spirit, that realize that, it's not okay to lie. It's not okay to deceive somebody, all right? So the bottom line is this, you guys, and this is really important. When you're dealing with somebody, right, always look at where they come from. Always look at where they come from, okay? Now, where they come from can be toxic, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're toxic, although a lot of times they are, okay? So you have to look at their behaviors. Their behaviors will tell you exactly what they are over a period of time, right? So, look at how this person is, look at how this person fights, and you'll get a good idea of whether and then look at their environment that they came out of. This is gold. Look at their childhood experiences, or, look at how their parents deal with conflict. And you could actually see, well, you know what? They're just like their mother, okay? They're just like their father. And this is where they could learn it. Or if a narcissist grew up in a certain area, like somebody made a comment and it was so true. And he said, well, narcissism is kind of like, people that grow up, in the hood. They have their own survival tactic of how to get, survive. All right. In other words, how to deceive people, how to get over, how to get by. And it's kind of like the same thing with the narcissist. If the narcissist, surrounded themselves with toxic people, Maybe their friends are all cheaters. Maybe their friends are all liars. Remember this, birds of a feather flock together 99.9% of the time, and that's your narcissist, all right? And they also gang up together to target somebody. Narcissists align with other narcissists to take somebody down, all right? I mean, they can knock heads if they go toe-to-toe with each other, but when they have a common goal, and that common goal is to take somebody down, that's when narcissists align. But they also, they learn from who they're surrounded by. So if their group of friends, were people that like to get over on someone, maybe they were scammers. Maybe their group of friends like to, scam people for money. Maybe their group of friends like to cheat on somebody. Maybe their group of friends back them up when they are lying or cheating. Take a good look at who they surround themselves. Now, remember also, the narcissist doesn't work alone, all right? So narcissists, whoever they're lining with, 9 times out of 10, they're crooked as well, and a lot of them lie for the narcissist. These flying monkeys, they lie for the narcissist, and people say, well, why do they lie for them when they know that the narcissist is wrong? Why are they lying for them? Because those flying monkeys need the narcissist for something, okay? It could be, money. Maybe they need their support on something. Or the other reason that they are loyal to the narcissist is because they might be afraid of the narcissist. Maybe they're afraid that the narcissist can expose them for something toxic that they're doing, all right? Or they're afraid because they know the narcissist could be very wicked. But yeah, generally, narcissists learn to survive by what they're taught, what they have learned along the way by, where they, grew up, how they dealt with things. And also keep in mind, too, it also has to do with a certain temperament that somebody has, all right? Like, not everybody deals with things the same way. It's like a child in school. Some children need extra care. Some children need extra help, right? And when they don't get that extra help, they can sometimes rebel or, go the other way, go left, in the sense that they learn by, getting what they want, they do certain toxic behaviors. And it's the same thing with the narcissist. The narcissist realizes that they want certain things, but they don't want to walk in the truth. They rather get it by manipulation. Why do they do this? Because sometimes it's an easier way to get what you want than to go out and work for something. Oh, you know what? I'll just flatter somebody. I'll just flatter the boss so that they give me the raise. Oh, I'll just flatter a family member so they leave me all the inheritance money. Oh, I'll just flatter the neighbors and everybody else so that they think I'm wonderful, and this will make you look bad, okay? A lot of times they do this flattery business is to make, they've learned that they get more bees with honey, and this is your covert narcissist. They realize that, you know what, when I want something, all I have to do is put on the love bombing. All I have to do is flatter. People love their egos flattered, okay? Even non-narcissistic people love the attention, love the flattery, and will be more willing to do something for you if you're really nice, or you tell them how beautiful or handsome they are, or you fill up their head with future faking. They'll be more willing to do things for you than if you're flat out honest with them and you tell them, you know what, I don't think you're that great looking, but I just want to use you maybe for a place to stay. So they learn that this is the way you get what you want. You just tell people, you make people feel good. You make people feel good, and they'll be more receptive to giving you something that they have. This is what happens in dating all the time on the dating apps. These love bombers, they tell you everything that you want to hear. They make you feel like you're the greatest thing that ever walked the earth. They shower you with attention. And what do? You let your guard down. That's what you do. And maybe you have sex with somebody too quickly and then they never call you again. Or maybe you loan somebody money and then you never hear from them again. All right? Because you move too quickly. This is the biggest mistake that people make when getting, entrapped with a narcissist, you move too quickly. You don't know this person. Just because somebody's nice, just because somebody gives you a lot of attention, doesn't mean that they're a nice person. You've got to wait it out. Time is your defense against the narcissist. Over time, trust is earned over a period of time. It's like your credit, you guys. You can't just go to banks and say, oh, I'm a trustworthy person. Can you loan me $100,000? A bank is never going to do that. What do? They look at your credit history over a period of time to know that you're solid, to know that they're not going to lose their money by lending it to you. And that's the way you need to be in relationships. You've got to see that this person is solid, that their word means something. And a narcissist word doesn't mean jack shit, all right? And you'll find that out later on. That's why I tell you, once you realize you're dealing with a narcissist, you don't owe them anything. That's why you leave them cold. You don't have to explain why you leave a narcissist. They lied to you. They kept you in darkness and confusion. And anybody that does that does not deserve closure, does not deserve an explanation. Block, delete. You don't have to explain anything to them. And even if you did explain it to them, they're just going to gaslight you and tell you you're crazy. So there's no point. There's no point in trying to resolve something with a toxic person that won't acknowledge the truth. These people do not walk in the truth, okay? So, you guys, rule number one, when you meet the narcissist or you're dealing with a narcissist and you're trying to figure them out, look at where they come from, look at who they deal with, and it'll give you an idea of why this person acts that way, okay? It's usually environmental, all right? People are born with a certain temperament, right? So some people are born with a certain temperament. Some people can, fly off the handle, be hot-headed, and some people are cold and deadly. So people are born with a certain temperament, and then their environment molds them into who they are and how they deal with certain difficulties and problems in life. And the narcissist deals with these problems and difficulties in life. If it's a covert narcissist, they like to block out problems, all right? They can't deal with the shame. So they like to suppress what they don't like. That's why they tell you they like to sweep it under the rug or let's move on from here, because they don't care about resolving the conflict. They just like to continue and pretend like everything's all right. Meanwhile, that problem was never resolved and it's going to be smoldering. It's like a smoking gun that's eventually going to go off if you don't clear up whatever problem you had with that person. So this is how they deal with, problems or conflict. But the point is, this they learned along the way by most of the time their environment. They saw how people they were around developmentally used to do these kind of things. Like I said, if you're dealing with covert narcissists, it was the silent treatment. Maybe they came from a type of household where their family or their parents fought with silence. If it's a situation where it could be a malignant type of narcissist, maybe they dealt with conflict with violence. Like a friend of mine, she got murdered. She was dealing with a malignant narcissist, right? This guy was bad news. He had an 18-page rap sheet, right? His last girlfriend had to leave the state. She was so afraid of him. And he had threatened my friend, and everything like that. Finally, she was going to leave him. She had the beeper to the cops, like if there was a problem. Well, that didn't do her any good because he showed up at her job and he shot her and shot himself. But the point I'm trying to make is when you looked into his childhood, he had a violent stepfather that beat the hell out of him, beat him to a pulp, okay? And what did he create in this guy? He created a very violent individual, all right? This guy came from a very violent background. His father really beat him, all right? So this guy was filled with a lot of anger, a lot of rage. This is why he got in trouble on the streets and everything else. And he ended up, you get involved with somebody like that, they could not only kill you, they could kill themselves. Now, I'm talking about primarily malignant narcissists, all right? But it doesn't have to be that extreme. It could just be you look at somebody's background and maybe like their parents didn't communicate because they were covert narcissists. And you see like your partner's doing the same thing. They can't communicate. So where do narcissists learn a lot of this kind of thing? These people are molded by where they come from, okay? Most times. Now, I'm not going to say that everybody who comes from a violent household is going to end up violent, because they don't, all right? I know that for a fact. So, but you've got to look at the person's behaviors as well. And if you start to see that it's, kind of modeling their parents, their family, their friends that they hung up with, that they grew up around or something like that, then this is what that person is, okay? Because they're modeling the behaviors of where they came from. So this is how narcissists become what they become, all right? They learn the manipulation tricks generally from other narcissists. They've seen it along the way. They've talked about it, maybe in some cases, along the way. Some narcissists laugh about how they manipulate other people to other narcissists, and they're laughing. They think it's a joke. They think it's funny how they know the game and how they can get over on people and you don't know, okay? But they love to confide in other people. And who do they confide in? Another toxic narcissist, because they get it. They get their toxic behaviors, and they're not going to call them out and say, hey, that's not right or something. Narcissists want cheerleaders. They want cheerleaders. They want flying monkeys. They want people that validate them and say what they're doing is okay. So these are the people that they're surrounded by, and these are the people that they learn all of this toxic behavior, and all of this toxic behavior will be inflicted on you if you get involved with that type of narcissist, okay? So take a good look at the environment they came from, take a good look at who they surround themselves with, and take a good look at their overall nature. What is their nature as a person? Are they a quiet type of person? Are they a loud, boisterous type of person? Put that all together in the mix. There is your narcissist. That's who you're dealing with. Also, look at, their pattern of behavior in their past over time, and there's your narcissist, okay? That's your pattern of behavior of how they've been their whole life. What makes you think they're going to change now? They're not, all right? Stop wasting your fucking time and trying to change somebody who's never going to change. This is who they're molded into. They're now an adult. And they're not, if they can't repent or they can't self-reflect, they're never going to change. Never, never, never. It's very hard for somebody to change their basic character. 99.9% of the time, you can't, because this is who you are, okay? A liar will always be a liar, all right? So I hope that helps you guys. If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast. Don't forget, go follow me on YouTube at The Game Exposed Podcast. My Instagram and Facebook is The Game EXP123. And one other thing that I want to mention is, you guys, when you get your information, and I know a lot of people listen to a lot of different influencers, a lot of influencers like to copy what other influencers say. So always look who talked about it first, all right? Like, for instance, I had done a post about, how narcissists are when taking pictures. And I did this post over a year ago. And there's a particular influencer who loves to copy me, and he's probably listening to this podcast right now. Yeah, I know who you are, okay? Very narcissistic, pretending to be, a helper of narcissistic victims, all right? You got scammers who are narcissistic abuse influencers who are out there doing this, stealing people's copyrighted reels, copyrighted videos, and pretending that it's coming from them. But if you ever listen to them in the podcast, you'll know flat out these people don't have the experience. They're copying what other people say. They're copying what other people say. They're copying their videos. And because they may have more followers, the video may take off, but they steal other people's ideas, okay? that they stole that idea, how narcissists take pictures. And, then I did another reel on that. And somebody actually had the nerve to call me a copycat. And I was like, I think you got that wrong there. I talked about this over a year ago. Okay. But I'm just pointing that out, you guys. Always look and see, because a lot of these influencers, and some of the big influencers, not all of them, some of them steal things, steal ideas from what the original survivors are saying, and they make it their own, okay? They make it their own because they're con artists that steal other people's experiences and everything, and they try to make it their own. But the way you're going to know whether somebody's real or not is by the podcast, all right? Because if they can't go in depth the way they should go in depth, then you're dealing with a fake one that never really experienced anything, that they're just trying to pretend that they experienced it. I just had to put that out there because you know what? When it comes to narcissistic individuals, there are a lot of them. Even, they try to pretend that they're helping people, but it's all a money game. They're trying to get money by, promoting narcissistic abuse videos, all right? When they're really, in fact, not a victim, okay? So think about that and, take a good look at who posts what and when they post things. And you'll really see who's fake, who's phony, who can get in depth with it. Will tell you in depth with it. All right. So I hope that helps you guys. If it did, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast, and don't forget, go check me out on YouTube at the Game Exposed podcast, where I have a lot of videos, over 4,000 videos on all this stuff. And have a great day. If you guys are having a problem in your dating or relationship, or you're dealing with somebody maybe that's narcissistic, you don't know if they're a narcissist, or you're just having problems, you're in a toxic relationship, and you need some clarity on it, go to the link in the podcast description for my website where I offer email and phone coaching. If you have a quick question, just a quick question, and you want to get a video sent back to you answering your question, there's also a link there for Vizio where I will send you a personalized video answering your question. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz, and I want to tell you about my 2 books on Amazon. The first book is Regain Your Power. It's all about power and relationship. Who has the power in the relationship? And it goes into all of that, okay? The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time, okay? Check it out. It gives you a lot of good clues as to whether you're with somebody who's a real one or somebody who's just going to waste your time. You could read them both with Kindle's free trial membership. So check it out. Link is in the podcast description. Hi, you guys. I just want to let you know that the Game Exposed now has their merchandise available. Check out the link in the bio, and you could go check it out. There's cool hoodies, cool sweatpants, cool hats. So go to the bio for the link. And also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook at The Game EXP 123, and also on Instagram, The Game EXP 123. Okay? And have a great day.